This is Michael Jullian of Live It Stoked, Mind Waves, and One Vlogcast podcast. Blessings and welcome to One, where the whole vision and purpose here is to produce content and share stories with the global diversity of culture around the globe to unite us all as one community in terms of this little neighborhood we call our planet, to better serve a better sense of physical, inner spiritual and mental well-being. And today I'm absolutely stoked to have a very close friend of mine on today, Dennis Monagle, who I've been friends with off and on for many years now. We share a relationship as artists and musicians, but in terms of our views about the world and what we can all do to share right now positive inspiration and energy to overcome our challenges and obstacles as we're faced with a pretty daunting situation, especially amidst COVID and what we've been through last year and what we're up against in the coming year. So without further ado, here's my soul brother, Dennis Monagle. How's it going, Dennis? How are you, man?
I'm wonderful. It's great to see you down there with the palm trees behind you and
yeah,
beautiful. Now that's Shiva behind you, yes?
It is.
That's Shiva?
It is the medicine Buddha.
Medicine Buddha.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I'm psyched to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
it's an honor.
Man, I'm so glad that we reconnected, and I'm glad that you're interested in coming on the vlog. So that was really the purpose, was to just reconnect with you in general, and then basically find out what was it that inspired you to want to become a part of this thing in terms of talking to the world via One.
Well, I'll tell you. Firstly, it's an honor to be asked by you to do this, because I know that we both stand for, above anything else, love, and as a kind of a unifier, and I think that that's what we're trying to get at here.
Absolutely.
And so it's inspirational to me to know that you have been doing the work. We all do the work, but to see what you are doing, trying to get it out there into the world, is inspiring to me, in the way you do it. And it's beautiful. And so to participate in something like that is I think, well worth my time, And if we can reach just a couple of people and make them feel better about themselves, because it's worth it. And everyone matters,
Well, I really appreciate that, Dennis, and that's the whole reason I reached out to you as well. You've been doing the work too, brother, and it's so obvious and apparent in all your posts on social media and just who you are. And from the very first moment I met you, that was immediately our connection and synergy there, was that we do feel and know the positive effects of channeling loving thought and energy to other human beings on this planet, and regardless of what we're going through. So
absolutely.
Really, really a pleasure to have you. And I was really stoked on us preparing this interview today based on the notes that you sent me, and I was absolutely touched today when I went through it. What you felt the word one means to you, and
yes.
I'm speechless in terms of how well you got to the center of the message that I'm trying to purvey out there with folks like you. So I was just wondering,
right on.
Would you be willing to kind of reread that or present that to everybody watching this episode of One?
I would be honored, man. And I got to say, you just gave me little goosebumps, man. I just got nice little loving goosebumps.
Right on, right
but
on.
I'd be grateful to and honored to read what I wrote and what you read. And I'll jump right in if that's cool. Yeah.
Absolutely, go for it, brother.
Yeah. All right. When I think of the word one, I think about humanity, the universe, the thread that binds us all together. The word itself implies singularity, but I like to believe that those are a multitude of ones within the whole. If we choose to use this lens of oneness and wholeness in viewing the world, our tendency to cultivate empathy, kindness, and love is far more likely to succeed. We are all made of the same stuff, carbon. We are literally made of stardust. We share so much with everything in the cosmos. It's hard to believe that we are not all connected. I have felt this oneness with people and nature with which I interact. It is truly a magical feeling to feel this connection. Being in nature, feeling the fresh air on my skin, smelling the earth, basking in the majestic beauty of countless types of trees and flora, wild animals in their natural habitat. There are moments when I feel I have spoken and been understood by a myriad of creatures on this earth. That's true, and that gives me goosebumps too, incidentally. But these are the moments when I really feel alive. One, music has always been a way to connect and engage this sense of oneness as well. And I know you know that, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Since I can remember, music has played a central role in my life and has helped me truly discover myself. Whether I am creating it, listening to it, or performing it, music has for me been the ultimate unifier. My friend and cosmic brother Joe and I have been hosting an open jam for several years now, and I must say I've never felt more the feeling of connectedness and fulfillment. To know that we are helping to bring people together in a place where they feel welcome, free, and loved has brought me such joy and contentment. As a performer, I feel I feel connected to everything. It's a transcendental experience for me. I often feel as though I am a conduit through which the universe speaks. It's being in the present also that brings this sense of flow to fruition. Although not always easy to attain, when I feel truly present, I allow the moment to happen naturally rather than react to it or catch up to it. As a drummer, this is particularly important as I am the pulse of the organism that is song. This is a fun anecdote from a while ago with one of the first bands I ever performed. And it's the first time I remember connecting musically, doing what I love most, and connecting to a crowd and my bandmates and experiencing it as an organism, as a one thing. It was just this beautiful flow of energy. But I'll read what I wrote, it's not very long. I remember playing in Washington.
Please do.
I love you. I remember playing in Washington, D.C. with my band, Brother Chameleon, back around 2000. And during a particularly elevated song, I felt overcome with pure joy, pure happiness, pure love. I started to laugh cry. After the song, I remember having to go outside for a moment to collect myself. I was so taken by the moment. Everything felt so right, so full of collective energy. I felt at one with my bandmates and everyone in the club. That night, I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Yeah, man.
Absolutely
So that's
beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Love it.
Thank you for letting me share that. That feels good. And it felt good to write all of that. And so I'm grateful to you for helping me, just share this.
Absolutely. That's the
really
whole purpose of this project, is to share. Right now, it is so obvious that COVID has presented us so many opportunities. It's wild. I mean, with the stress that's going up, in the world right now, in terms of just all the crises, there's so many other endemic, pandemic type situations going on based on pure stress and people being removed from one another and not having the ability to, communicate normally as we had the ability to before this thing. To share our stories and our feelings and our emotions right now, and to try to accept this digital medium as a norm and relax and let it flow and let it happen. But I think it's really presented an immeasurable opportunity for us to send a message of love and positive connective energy to each and every human being around the planet right now.
Absolutely.
I really do truly believe, I know you know this because, you're familiar with Live It Stoked and what I was doing when I got out of my surgeries, but the mantra will never, ever change. This is about, do we have the power to overcome our challenges if we accept the idea that what I call stoked energy is an energy source itself. So you having these beautiful memories and thoughts about what one means to you, and the energy and being connected to others through a one energy, especially through music as an artist. And that's exactly what I'm trying to purvey, on these vlogcast podcasts. Is right now the one thing we can do is provide each other ample, loving, compassionate, giving, positive energy to get through this
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because the bottom line is we will get through it and we will prevail. And we do have all of the necessary tools, regardless of what angle you're looking at it from, whether it be, I would hope that people are looking at it from a scientific view with global warming on the plate. And that's really
Amen.
that's one of my key interests and focuses in terms of this
Yeah.
podcast is, look, man, with all this time on our hands, you can't go out there and plant a couple of trees a week because that's going to grow ice,
Yep.
Without any more time,
Absolutely.
we're not going to be able to share much,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
right.
said it, man. Get those plants in your hands, man. Get them in the ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get those trees out there for sure.
You doing anything like that where you are out in New England? Have you?
I haven't personally. It's been something that's been on the radar for my girlfriend and I, who, the two of us are both nature lovers and we get out there often. And we're so fortunate to live in a place of such beauty, I mean, coastal North Shore, Cape Ann is just full of a multitude of geography. We can get elevated if we want to and see all of the beaches, and we can get lost in the woods and find some old growth. But you have inspired me even more now to make that a priority.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
I hope that can be inspirational. It's something I'm never going to stop promoting. And it's one of the
Please don't.
reasons I came here to Costa Rica. I'm friends with an amazing, amazing individual named Freddy Gutierrez, who runs a project here called Costas Verdes. And I mean, Costa Rica is dramatically impacted and threatened by global warming like many other places on the globe. And I met Freddie coincidentally on Playa Hermosa one day. We immediately chatted up. We had the same interests and views. And then I came to find out that this guy was getting literally the entire country involved in planting trees all around in burned spots in Costa Rica. And he's now, completely responsible for, 60, 70, 80,000 trees being planted in Costa Rica.
Awesome.
And this is one little super badass, amazing guerrero warrior here who did this with hands and employed Tico kids to help him in the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a prime example of what we can do with one thinking, because this
absolutely
led to the president getting behind it. All the star soccer players here got behind it. All the pro surfers got, people were coming in from all over the world through Envision Festival to become a part of this thing. And, man, I really do truly believe that if we just make a practice of it every month, obviously you're in New England, so in the wintertime, this is going to be a little difficult. But if we're really motivated, there's nothing that holds anybody back from doing that kind of stuff indoors to a level.
Without a doubt.
Prepare them for the spring,
For sure. And it's also about intention, I think that when we think about things, whether it's planting trees, which is imperative, or anything else that we know will better ourselves or our community or others, I think it's important that we don't should ourselves into it, like, or I should have already done that, or I feel guilty that I haven't done that yet, or it's like, don't put that shame on yourself. Just set the intention, put it inside of you, and when you're ready, it will come to seed, and it will bloom.
Absolutely.
Much like a beautiful palm tree.
Right on. Well,
man.
When we have those types of apprehensions and it turns into guilt, those are just purely emotions. And that energy,
your emotions.
I'm always talking about that, the yin-yang circle. What is energy? What is cosmic consciousness? Once we go through those processes and we have tools and applications that are, viable by sharing our stories, to get folks to understand that that's the same energy. All the energy that you're wasting in terms of feeling bummed out that you haven't, the shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yep.
Just remember what that felt like. Most likely feel good. And so maybe one day you turn around and you use that feeling, that expression, that intensity of that vibe that came as positive energy to just act, to just put it into act,
Yes.
an hour to 2 hours out of your day, But
Absolutely.
I'm a huge fan of Sadhguru, who is an amazing mystic who's, head of Isha Foundation, got a global following. And, I've listened to Sadhguru talk many times about all the time that we're wasting, in terms of what's going on, regardless of what it is. All of the things that we interface with and stress out about and talk to each other, about, and what we're sharing on social media, at times to me is disturbing, because I see it as such a void of wasted time, when really the biggest problem we face is global warming. Right now, you could say militarized systems, you could say the World Bank, we could say pandemics like COVID, but that's not the real issue at hand. We've only got two in my book. And I'm watching all the experts, scientists, doctors, psychologists, gurus, people who are spiritual leaders talk about this in the exact same way, which is without the ability to grow some new ice and with mental illness on the rise on the planet, we're in some pretty dire straits. So this is
absolutely
the plant trees thing,
Yep.
So, but I'm really stoked, man, that you were talking about your perspective as a musician, and a lot of people who watch Stoked or Hypnotic Eye or whatever, they know that I'm a musician as well, and it is really beautiful that. But I think at times, sometimes we take it for granted as musicians that we automatically gravitate toward, create, know a one energy. Because we're all about the song, and we're all about that moment in time, and we are about supporting one another, and we are about trying to connect with the audience. And so automatically programmed to do a 360-degree kind of hug to this whole situation, where a lot of other people in their lives who don't share the same experiences, are not on that plane.
Yes.
And so
absolutely.
I thought it would be very, very powerful if a lot of us came online with one and let folks know that it's applicable in any situation at any given time, with any community, anywhere in the world, any ethnicity.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Add to that. What do you think about that?
Well, I do think what you're saying about, I think that it's almost like an advantage we have.
Yes.
As artists, as creators, because we have, it's almost implicit in the nature of creating and sharing music with, or even just listening to it. If you can connect to that, you're already experiencing that level of oneness. There's a transfer of energy happening there that's implicit in the nature of music.
Right.
So yeah, not everyone gets to experience that, but it can be experienced in every facet of life, and I think, as I said before, when I really feel the most charged is when I know I'm kind of in that flow of the moment. And that's a huge thing too, and I read a book years ago, and I've read it a few times since, but it's called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. And it's take it or leave that book. There were beautiful, beautiful parts to it that I took to heart. And one of the most, I guess, impactful phrases from that book for me was, "There are no ordinary moments." Each one, it's up to us. We can make a decision on what to do. We can simply just stop and breathe, which we probably should do more often, right?
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that, and I know you agree with this, is that if we can try to avoid letting the past bring us depression, and try to avoid letting the future bring us stress and anxiety, and concentrate on the moment in time we're in, and try to, just really go out of your home wake up with an open mind and an open heart, and maybe even say to yourself, yourself, I'm grateful for whatever you want. I'm grateful for this pillow under my head, you know. That gratitude breeds love and breeds kindness, and it relaxes the body, when you can stay in a state of gratitude, I think.
Absolutely. There is no doubt about that. And that's something that came out in a lot of the Live It Stoked interviews, as you know. It was one thing at the end of all of them. We were all talking about gratitude,
Yeah, man. It's huge. It's huge, especially if you're feeling off balance in a place where, like, the world is coming down on me, and it's me against the world, and just like, all right, hold on one second, take a breath, and remember and remind yourself of the beauty around you and what you do have,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't have to weigh that much.
And it's really bizarre, isn't it, too? It's magical. And it's, I think, extraordinary that once it's just a decision, right? It's just a thought.
Yes.
You've said that on Mind Waves a couple of times, really, what is the space between, a good time and a bad time in our emotions? Well, the provocation of positive thought. It's your creation.
Yep.
It's like I've studied Buddhism for over almost 30 years now. And, mudita, which is, their term for joy. One thing that really interested me and fascinated me when I was doing the study and kind of adopting the paramita as the way I try to live my life, which is just the 6 practices, that it is a creation. Nothing comes to you out of happenstance. My life was horrible, out of money, and I was dealing with COVID, and I was really down and out. And then all of a sudden, she walked up to me on this beach and my life changed. Or this group of people, and this guy, man, he just said these words to me, and because of that, I was blessed. And when it's not reality, the energy is inside of us, and it is what we do in provocation of our own energy outbound that brings positive and connective experience from other human beings, organisms, whatever.
That's it. We're all mirrors.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's just energy attracting energy, I think, is the point, right?
That is. I think so.
Well, that's really cool, man. And I'm so happy that you got on board to do this thing. And I'm so looking forward to it. You're an amazing dude. You've always made me laugh so hard because I love how funny you are.
Oh, thanks, man. It runs in the family. I got a couple of clowns in the family.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, what an amazing experience. And, reflecting back on when I first met you, being asked by Jesse to go on that short tour out to Ohio with, you guys. And I had the pleasure and the experience of hanging out with you and going on tour with Sarah Bettens and Jesse Cimitaro and Christine Bays. And was shooting the video and really, shouldn't have been out on the road with you. Just was, I guess, in a lot of denial about having a broken neck at the time. But what an experience in terms of everything that you've communicated today. I mean, how fast that came about, how quickly we got everything together. All of a sudden we're in the van, right? We were operating as if we had known each other our whole lives. And
we were an organism.
Yeah. And I really, truly believe that, sharing this kind of stuff with the world right now in a compassionate way to, let people know that they have the capacity to do that most of the time, regardless of what their circumstances are. And that, overwhelming feelings right now, feeling isolated, alone. So many people are worried about the outcome of any future right now in terms of self. All of this stuff can really be alleviated, and you can actually start to really enjoy life, even in our present circumstances. I don't want people to get the wrong impression, from the lens or the outside looking in. Man, does it look like I have it made? Woo, you're in Costa Rica. You're not in the United States, or you're not in Europe, or, where we're looking at just massive spikes in COVID.
Sure. But
we're impacted here as well, very dramatically. We've been in lockdown 3 to 4 times now. Most likely we are going to lockdown again, So, with fauna all around and living the Pura Vida lifestyle, really challenging when you have this much expansion in terms of natural beauty and not being able to engage it at times or each other.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
all of you watching this interview, don't get the wrong impression. We're going through it here
Right.
in a big way, and that's one reason I wanted to purvey these messages of positivity and a oneness as well.
Absolutely.
I'm really hoping that we can share other things, man, and I'm hoping this leads to other interviews with you. I just wanted to
I
do
hope so too.
to, give people a good idea of who you are, and I thought
Yeah,
it'd be
man.
cool.
I'm most grateful. Oh, I wanted to show, can you see my t-shirt?
Yeah, let's check it out.
I thought you might get a kick out of it. Hold on, I'm caught on wires here. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, keep talking for me. We're going to see you.
Practice composure.
Yeah,
Keep positive a mental attitude. Don't take things personally. That's what it says on the bottom.
absolutely. Nice. I love it, dude. How do I get one? We're going to hook that up.
Oh, I'll send you one, man.
Excellent. Oh, that's one thing I love. Your t-shirts are rad. You have like a new killer one every time. I love them.
Yeah, man. I try to spread some good vibrations just through my t-shirts and hats. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And it's really rad that you showed the shirt and that you read the caption underneath, because that is so imperative for people to know and understand right now with the stress that is happening in the human system and human consciousness, to not
Yep.
take anything personally. Most of the time, this is because folks are overwhelmed. They're feeling isolated,
Absolutely.
down. They're feeling tragic about the circumstances. They're uncertain about their future.
Absolutely.
I think the whole message is, if we're walking around with a lot of love to give and a lot left over for every situation around us, it helps alleviate tension and stress, and that's really a main vision for me with One and Mind Waves on Live It Stoked, is to give people practical
Yeah, man.
elements to reduce stress, get better sleep, better diet, have fun living your lives.
Absolutely.
I think without that right now, we are in a pretty heavy duty situation.
I agree.
I'm going to refrain from saying something like, could be perilous, but it could. And
Absolutely. It's important to recognize the possibilities, but not let them consume you. I think one of my mantras is just, try to walk in balance, you know?
absolutely, man.
But,
That yin
yeah,
yang. And it's wild because it goes right back to gratitude. Is the one thing I do in practice, and I've been talking to a lot of other people, and they're doing it too, which is once that threshold really starts to get pushed to the top in terms of stress,
mm-hmm. Yes,
to immediately embrace the idea, just as a thought, that what if this was your last moment? Now go back to what
mm-hmm.
was really beautiful about all of this time. And it's
Mm-hmm.
wild what happens to your blood pressure, your diastolic, your sleep pattern, your shiny comes
Sure.
immediately.
Yeah,
Front lobe perplexed with this whole holy shit, what if, as opposed to the
yeah,
now, you know.
right. I like that. The shine comes back. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for jumping on, man. And I'm hoping we can schedule another one in your busy schedule as a musician. But I thought it'd be great if we talk about maybe some books, because I know you're a reader and I know we share that, and just your views, maybe some
Absolutely.
benefit folks on a physical level as well, just in terms of like maybe
For
exercise,
sure.
like that. So
Absolutely.
time you got to make sure you figure out a way to set up a good podcast with me in terms of your music. You're getting the boys
Yes,
together,
man.
something on camera. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I would love that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
this, man. I love you. One, and I'll be talking to you soon. And for everybody out there who's watched the interview, if you're interested, I am going to be redawning the channel on YouTube, and I'm going to be putting out some messages and some content on social media so that you guys will be able to check that out. And eventually it's going to lead to a schedule of events and new interviews with other folks. So until then, make sure that you understand you're not alone in this thing. We are all one in this global community and this small, tiny little rock we call our planet. There are many, many people that are available to you at any given time. Reach out, communicate, live your lives. Pura vida, which here in Costa Rica means pure life. And until next time, we love you. Stay positive, healthy, and we'll get through this thing. All right? Peace out, buddy. I love you.
I love you.
All right.